Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. Crypto Bull Ron coming at you here. Voice almost fully restored. Hurts a little, but at least it's not. It seems to be getting better, which is all that matters. Let me make sure everyone's hearing me okay over on X. Testing 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, that's right. They can hear me. I know that they're saying in the chat. My restreaming service saying the chat's not working on X. We'll see if that's true. Yeah, it looks like GM Goachmaster, my buddy from X, but coming at me over on YouTube. Chat's working over there, but for those of you on X, the chat is not working. The software I use to stream to multiple platforms is not working. So early for Goachmaster there, 6:35 a.m. on the West Coast, but we had some good data today. Yesterday we were all waiting, holding our breath for the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, the key inflation indicator the Fed uses, hoping it would come in a little lower than expected. It came in right on target. Markets stayed about flat. Bitcoin dropped a little. What I'm worried about Bitcoin is we're right there. We're literally right there at the 200-week moving average, right? So, yeah, Mr. Heine, the PPI numbers did come in better than expected. Also, jobs report or unemployment the jobless claims were higher than expected. So that's bad news that becomes good news. Yeah, we'll show you an article here, but I think the chance is down to like 34% of a rate hike, down from like 86. So this last few days has been critical. For those of you joining me over on X, Restream, the software I use, their X chat is down. I just tried it myself. So if you're typing anything in from X, I won't be able to see you. But meanwhile, some of my friends helping me out over on YouTube, getting me some helping the algorithm over there. We got Goachmaster, we got Mr. Heine from the Heine Coin community, the founder, and then Scott also from the Heine community, and also my co-host on the GM Bitcoin show coming up. So great show today, by the way. Scott has a show every day at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time, goes for about an hour and 15 minutes, talk all kinds of stuff. It's a good show, and it's growing if you happen to be there. Steph, who is the Heine Coin in-house technical analysis, coming at us from Belgium over there. Was here every day, helps me out on the GM Bitcoin show, but also helping out a friend rehire all and train new staff for his restaurant. So he's tied up some days through the summer, but the numbers came in good. The numbers, it was expected 4.9, and we came in at 4.7. Of course, I wish the CPI had come in that good yesterday. I think you really could have turned us around. As it is, we're teetering right here on the moving average. But let's go look over at. Let's kind of go through all of the traditional, the prices right now in Bitcoin. Then we'll go look at some of the actual numbers. Yeah, PPI came in better than expected. So we'll see. So far, markets reacted. First thing I want to look is at crude oil. Let me refresh it too. Make sure we're looking. Crude oil, all the whatever we hear in the Middle East, what's happening, what's not happening. I've gotten to where I just look at the oil price and the markets, and I just can't believe anything I hear from either side. But today, crude oil 80.93, down 2.81%. So to me, that's positive. Through the last quote unquote ceasefires, peace deals, whatever, we were down to around 68, 69. So like to see those numbers again, but I do like this trend of going down. The NASDAQ, oh, by the way, looking too at SpaceX exploding 144.48. I mean, remember it the day before the or the day of the release, the token release, or the not token, the share release was about 20%. We were all the way down to around 110, 111, now 144.43. And also STRC 95.83 up half a point, getting closer and closer to that $100 par where they can buy more Bitcoins. I would argue that Michael Saylor, the strategies, it's working. They're kind of, they're not buying. They haven't bought for about 8 weeks. They've sold 3 times, all 3 times over 100 million. They've raised some more money. I think they have about 4.7 billion, enough to pay the dividend for 2.7 years. I think it's working. I think it's calming people. Of course, once the price comes back to 75,000 or whatever on Bitcoin, they'll have no worries. But so markets looking up. Markets were looking negative, by the way, before this PPI. So I would say the TradFi markets taking it good. Will it be the catalyst we need on Bitcoin to break above this, hold solidly, bounce off definitively off this 200-week moving average? I don't know if you know exactly what the moving average, 200-week moving average is, Steph. I think it's right around 63.7, 63.6. So if that's true, then we're right there. And this is the daily chart. This is the hourly chart. So it has up a little bit, but we're right there. We don't want to fall below it. It could get ugly. It could get ugly fast, but I think it's kind of a coin toss now. Have we seen the bottom at 57 a few months ago, or are we going to bleed lower? I don't know. But that's where we're at. Ethereum, 1892.9, down half a point. Bitcoin, by the way, is down 0.2 for the day. XRP, man, XRP barely hanging on to $1. Look at this, 1.0078, down 0.6. But man, for the month, it's down 8.3%. So we've really XRP's really been going through it. Solana kind of been leading, 76.2359, flat for the 24 hour. So for some reason, Solana's kind of been leading a little bit. Well, let's jump into some of the, Ansem. Well, I've just kind of been using Ansem and CashCat as kind of a contrast between the new Robinhood chain and Solana, though now that the CashCat's on the app, I don't think it's necessarily a fair comparison. But 191, down 5.5%. But CashCat, of course, it's on the actual app now for everyone to buy, and that's at 147. It's down 1.9%. Our Bitcoin bull, 14.1 million, still down 9.14%. But you see, kind of in this range. Monday, we dropped, a week ago, Monday, we dropped to 4.74 million. This Monday, we dropped to 12 million, and we're just kind of in this range, working on deals, working on things. Jason's working on a deal to get 21 people to get 1%, called the 21 Club. You kind of have inside access to Jason, mentoring, helping with business ideas, and holding the line and doing things. So that's kind of a cool club if you have the enough or the liquidity to get in that. It's about $140,000 at this point. So anyway, good things happening there. Our buddy the Bela, our buddy Sikasa, had a nice little bounce. Look at that candle today. Quite a big candle, from bounced off 500 all the way up over 6. So up 2% today. But man, that was about a 16% jump. So we kind of were bleeding down. That's the 15 minutes. Look at the 4 hour. Yeah, well, that's 15 minutes probably better. It's a newer chart. Just launched on Friday. So less than a week old. But that nice little bounce. So, of course, Sikasa's been around a long time with his Jungle Bay, been 5 years. So don't know if it'll have any huge pops, but I think it'll be a pretty steady, should be a good, steady, slow grind up. And then looking at the news here, including, we'll look at that, the PPI numbers. Bitcoin firms are asking AI labs for early access to their most powerful models to fight hackers. They say strong AI can find Bitcoin software flaws, but security rules often block trusted researchers from using it. They argue hackers do not face the same limits, giving them a better chance of finding and exploiting flaws. Support has grown from 40 to 77 signatories, including Coinbase, Strategy, Mara, ARK Investment, among others. You can see all of those. This from Coin Bureau. Bunch of companies, wanting to get early access because that could, with the AI models, it definitely puts an incredible strain on software, potential bugs, exploits, things like that. XRP getting closer to everyday spending in Japan. Rakuten is connecting XRP with its rewards and payment ecosystem. So people convert their Rakuten points into XRP and then into Rakuten Cash for purchases. So there's 100 million users. So that should be good. Love to see that adoption, real world adoption could help XRP. It needs something. It needs a boost, man. It's holding on. It's on holding on to that, barely holding on to that dollar. So here's what Steph and them were talking about. PPI data at 4.7, expectation 4.9. By the way, if you're over on X, the chat feature doesn't work. If you want to type a message, I'll just test it again. Restream Services, who I use, they had an alert when I logged in this morning that they're getting that fixed. So if you're on X, if you're on YouTube, you can put a comment in the comments, but not in over on X. So I think you can still hear me and listen, just can't make any comments. But appreciate everyone listening live over there, and just can't make any comments today. So anyway, that's the big news. PPI, which is the producer price index, which is usually an early indicator of inflation, because if this is high, it eventually makes sense that if a manufacturer's paying higher for their goods, then it's eventually going to work its way to the consumer. So a good early indicator, and we had some good news there. Instead of being 4.9%, it's 4.7%. So that's a good thing. Far less chance now of a rate hike. I don't know if it's enough ammo for a rate cut, but I mean, a few weeks ago, we were almost for sure going to, the numbers were all pointing like 89, 87%. There'd be a rate hike in September. So those numbers have changed drastically. Factory construction jobs are being added 10 times faster than a year ago. So a lot of the stuff Trump's doing, bringing all these companies building factories and stuff, all this outside trillions and trillions of dollars, 10, 15 trillion, maybe even more. That's going to have good long-term effects, but it's like losing weight or getting in shape. It doesn't happen overnight, but though that is a good thing. But there's also a lot of problem. We almost pushing $40 trillion in debt. We're having trouble with credit card defaults, repos, people not paying their car payments. So now this is also, well, what you'd call good news, bad news that could become good news. Initial jobless claims were expected to be 202, and they came in at 209. So 7,000 more jobless claims than expected. Now, you ask, why is that? That's not good. Why has it become good news? And the reason is the Fed has a dual mandate: keep inflation at 2% and maximize jobs. So with inflation being the same or lower, and then nothing but bad news on the job front, I don't think they're going to raise. And then could they cut? I don't know. I've seen crazier things happen on election year. Mr. Heine says, the Heine coin says, I don't think rate hikes now in September, but a lot can happen over the next 30 days. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think we're going to have, who knows? I don't think so. I mean, it's down. I have an article here. I think it's down to like 34%. So I think you're right there. I don't think we see a rate hike. And like I say, we were literally calling, the numbers were all pointing at a rate hike, 3 maybe even this year, and now not. So that's a good thing. Could they somehow tweak that into a rate cut. It'd be good for Trump in the midterms if it did. I think that might be a bridge too far. Possible, but not probable. So now we had, today was all good news. Even the bad news was good news for the Fed. IBM and OpenAI team up. Enterprise AI just got a major boost. I don't hear much about IBM when it comes to AI, so I don't understand that. I know you have the other one that just announced earlier. What is theirs? And you have Lenovo and you have Dell. They're all making all these servers. Maybe IBM's going to get in the racks and the cooling systems and all this stuff. So anyway, AI is definitely going crazy. Got energy, got all these huge data centers going in. Michael Saylor said BTC is digital capital, STRC is digital credit, and stablecoins sit on the transactional end. So thank you, Mr. Saylor. I like I say, seeing them at like $96, I think their strategy to buy time is working. And who would have thought if they were our biggest buyer quit buying and actually sold, $3.5 billion, $350 million worth of Bitcoin, that we'd be holding on still above the 200-week moving average. But I'd like to bounce off it. I don't like being here. Yeah, U.S. debt nears $40 trillion. No bueno. Fed. Yeah, here it is. Fed rate hikes dropped to just 34.1%. So, yeah, I don't think we're going to see a rate hike. I think we can pretty much take the rate hike off the table. And then it'd be nice if this war thing got settled or the oil. But oil's going down. I mean, we need to get down below 70 into the 60s because that oil definitely adds to inflation numbers short term. Trump signs memo allowing private firms to help the government hack foreign criminal groups. So use some of the talent out there. Let them. So interesting. I didn't hear much about it. I saw that last minute, but let's take one more look over at the numbers, see if anything's changed. Also, I think Jason is doing at Going Parabolic is doing he's doing an interview on Gemini. Let me see when that is. Between 10 and 11 a.m. So, yeah, it might be doing during our show. So we'll see. We'll have to post a recording. But, yeah, on at Gemini. So you could also go to his thing at Going Parabolic and see if he let me see. Okay, yeah. So anyway, we'll keep an eye on that. He might jump into our show here in at the top of the hour. He might be doing that interview. Either way, it'll be good to watch. He does a great job live. Okay, let's refresh one more time. My favorite restaurant, the Cheesecake Factory, crushing Chipotle, which is interesting. You wouldn't think those people would be competitors. One's like a takeout, one's interesting. I love Cheesecake Factory though. Okay, so we're looking oil still continuing to go down 2.39%. Love that. NASDAQ going up 0.78. It was looking to open in the red earlier. Dow 0.15 and S&P. So NASDAQ taking off. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. All in all, I think we have to say it's a good news week. I just don't like that we're sitting right on that 200-week moving average. That's scary because a break below that could, a lot of people think that we're going to go lower before we go higher. So, yeah, about the same. Let's look at the hourly chart here. 63,734, up a little bit. I'd like to see 64. I'd like to see us above 65 on the way up. But anyway, we'll see. Got today and tomorrow. We get decent news. I mean, decent. Yesterday, CPI was as expected. Today we had, which wasn't like great, but not bad for, the Fed to consider. At least it's not going up. They would almost had to hike rates if it was. PPI that come in today, 2 points below expected. And initial jobless claims higher than expected. all three of those things make it virtually a slam dunk that we will not see a rate hike in September. So, how the market digests that over the next few days, we will see. But we'll be back tomorrow. Join me right now at the top of the hour. If you're on X at Crypto Bull Ron, myself, Scott, maybe Steph will join as well, talk some more technical analysis. We'll talk some TBB. Jason may or may not join us if he's doing that interview. But either way, that's all great. We moved forward, had a lot of spaces. Yesterday, we had 3 TBB spaces going on at the same time. I know behind the scenes, Jason's working on some stuff. I'm working on some stuff behind the scenes, soon to be announced. But yeah, it is what it is. Thanks for joining me live. If you have time, come. Please feel free to join me over on the GM Bitcoin Morning Show. We'll continue this conversation. And thanks again. I really appreciate everyone listening live. Have a great